Alright guys, it's Josh here from Liberseed. Now I'm so excited because we just met the other day one of our neighbours, and they happen to be farmers, so they got loads of different tractors and large machinery that my son absolutely adores. And they've got cows and cats and dogs and chickens, etc. And they allowed us to buy from them quite cheaply fresh milk, literally milk that's just come out of the udder. And for me, it's quite exciting because when you move to a rural location, generally people do not want to have too much interaction with other people. They live out in the middle of nowhere for the sake of having no other people. So when you have these sorts of interactions and it goes well, or as well as it could, this is really good, and it's hopefully going to be the start of something going to be bigger, where we can engage with each other, we can help each other out if there's problems or advice, etc. They would be particularly useful for the fact that where they have, I think they've got about 10 to 15 cows that we saw, and they're breeding them. They're up to date and knowledgeable, I presume, with the Lithuanian regulation, and maybe they have veterinarian contacts, and so they could be very useful for us in terms of advice as well as some sort of friendship. I don't know how far that would go, but we will see. But the milk is very good. The milk is, it's not a dramatically different taste compared to the milk that you buy at Lidl, but you can feel, I feel like it's slightly heavier and slightly thicker. We actually pasteurized it ourselves on a barbecue, which I posted a picture of on TikTok, and I didn't realize that when you pasteurize milk that you don't need to boil it. Boiling it actually reduces and kills some of the nutrients that it has and distorts the flavor slightly. And so you only need to raise it to 63 degrees Celsius for about 30 minutes, or 72 or 73 degrees Celsius for only 15 seconds, which is very difficult to do when you're doing it on a fire, because obviously the fire is very hot, so you just raise the temperature up until you get to like 73 degrees Celsius. You leave it there slightly for 15 seconds, then you take it off, and that's done. And we bought 5 litres, so we did 1 litre, and that worked pretty well within maybe like 5 minutes. And then we decided to try and do 4 litres, and that took about half an hour. So we learned our lesson, do it short and sweet, little bits at a time, and that'll work out. But we need to sort out a couple of things before we get our own cows, and some things in terms of regulation. We need, in Lithuania and probably most places around Europe and the world, they track wherever a lot of the livestock goes. So one of our neighbours are out. So if you buy a cow, you need to notify the government that you're buying the cow, where the cow is going to live. You need to register the land. The cow then gets tracked throughout its whole life from birth, really, because it gets the ear tag. And so we also need to make sure that we've got enough grass, so it's got food. We've got water will be the immediate problem. Now, until we get our borehole dug, which is rather annoying because the council's taking a sweet ass time about it. After we get that, then we've got no problem with water. But prior to that, we are currently filling up bottles, as I described in a previous video. We'd have to just buy some more bottles and then transport that, which is not the end of the world if you're doing it short term, but it'd be nice to have it as short as possible, just to make it a little bit easier for transporting and driving, etc. So that's our neighbours. I'm not going to show you who it is or where it is, because that's their business. But we've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 neighbours to tick off the box, and then we'll feel like we're part of the community. So it's going really well. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.